Good evening, everybody. Hi, guys. Hope everyone's doing really, really well. Yeah, it's me back in front of the camera after a couple of videos of being absent in those terms. But yeah, I've obviously been shifting things around a bit, cleared the room out, and obviously got the new stereo up and going, but I'm not going to talk about hi-fi because I'm sure you're all sick of that. And we're here obviously again for what matters, which is the music and the records. So yeah, so obviously I hope everybody in the UK at least is having a great bank holiday. Weather's been really, really nice. So yeah, that always obviously makes things seem a lot better. Met up with Ben in Stratford on Avon, outside the shop at about 8:45, and we went down to the leisure centre where there was a record fair on this morning. Started early doors at 9 for dealers and so on. I was lucky enough to get in early with Ben, and we visited a friend of his on one of the first stands, and yeah, he Ben bought quite a lot of stuff, and yeah, I had a flick through as well. Just found a couple of things, but was nice to have got a 20% discount, which was which obviously all helps. So yeah, so anyway, I'm going to just get straight into it and just show you what I got. So the first one was this one, which is Remembering Unit 4 plus 2. So this is a compilation of Unit 4 plus 2, British pop band from the 60s. Famous, of course, for the hit Concrete and Clay, which was one of those songs that was covered by Randy Edelman in the mid-70s. Some of you of a certain age may remember that. I certainly do. My sister played that endlessly, as was her wont, with several songs that she'd love and play over and over and over again infinitum. You know the score. So yeah, and but yeah, nice to get this. And obviously I was aware of the original, but not seen this compilation before. So this is a 1970s compilation on Decca. The label there, really nice condition. Doesn't look like it's virtually been played, hardly at all. And yeah, with my discount, that cost me, I think, £8. So I was really happy with that. Okay, and the other one I picked up as well from the same seller was this one, which is not an album I was particularly familiar with. I've seen it around, but not, as I say, hadn't really heard it. This is Richard and Linda Thompson, and what's it called again? Pour Down Like Silver. Okay, so this was 1975, so chronologically this came after and I Want to See the Bright Lights Tonight. So I believe he'd gone through a kind of sort of religious reawakening at the time when he recorded this record. There's Linda, his wife, on the back there. So yeah, looking forward to giving this one a spin. This one is on Hannibal Records. Just black vinyl. So it's not to check in case it was one of those translucent ones that you do get sometimes from the mid-70s. Okay, so and then I moved on and further in through the fair. There was no, I was surprised there was no jazz virtually at all. or not that was immediately apparent, which is unusual for fairs. You normally get at least 2 or 3 sellers that are selling fair few bins worth of jazz records. So if they were there, I missed them. There was an awful lot of what I consider bootlegs, or certainly reissues, and I've been stung with 1 or 2 of those before at record fairs in the past. So I was kind of very very wary of not being not making the same mistake again. So it was actually just on my way out, and there was it was probably one of the biggest sellers there. They probably had a good 3 or 4 tables with probably 20 plus bins, a lot of stuff that was all in really good condition and very well priced, which is obviously a great combination. That's just what you want to see. And flicking through, and managed to pick up this one, which I was really delighted to get. So this is the best of Michael Chapman, 1969 to 1971. So yeah, this is a compilation record on C for Miles Records that came out in 1988. And this is, as it suggests, a compilation of his first 4 albums. This Fully Qualified Survivor is the only one I've ever seen. I was lucky enough to pick up an original of that. This is his first one, Rainmaker, which I would dearly love to get. And I asked the seller if he'd ever had, and he's never seen a copy. So I think they're pretty scarce. This one's Window, which is the 3rd album, and then there's this one from '71, which by all accounts is the scarcest of the 4, which is Wrecked Again. But yeah, what a lovely compilation record, and it's just great to get. Particularly, I think there's 4 out of the 11 tracks on this are from his debut album, which is just superb. So you've got, It Didn't Work Out. The track Rainmaker itself is fantastic. You Say, absolutely brilliant, wonderful Gus Dudgeon production as well. So obviously the man responsible for producing Elton John. And yeah, really good. I mean, if anybody, I've talked about Michael Chapman before because I'm a big fan, but I mean, if anybody's interested, he's kind of like a very progressive folk guitar player in the sort of realms of kind of Roy Harper. Quite earthy, gritty in places, very melodic, but uses lots of different, like Roy Harper, lots of different strange tunings and so on. And his stuff is a joy to listen to. So yeah, really happy to pick that one up. And then the second and the last one I picked up from the fair, from this seller, is this, which is an album that I've seen a fair few times, but not in such great condition. So this is Procol's 9th. So this is Procol Harum's 9th album from, as it suggests, from 1975. I think it's April 75, according to the scroll on the back. So these are just facsimilars of the band's signatures. So yeah, this isn't, I think it's a popular misnomer with this record that these are actual signatures of the band. Yes, they are, but they are, as I say, they are printed in facsimilars. So, but yeah, I mean, great record. I mean, particularly the opening track, which is the single Pandora's Box. Fantastic. I always remember my brother having that single and listening to that when I was a kid. Loved that with the flute on it and so on. Apparently that was a really old song that Gary Brooker and Keith Reid had written back in the late 60s, which should have been on one of their first albums, but was kind of shelved. which was a pity because it's a absolutely cracking song. So yeah, but yeah, decent listen. Good album. Always like a bit of Procol Harum. So this comes on Chrysalis Records in lovely, lovely condition. So yeah, I mean, sometimes at record fairs, if the light isn't great, you can at least, if you get an inkling of the spindle wear, which I always look at as an indicator to check if that's not too worn, then you know that it hasn't been overplayed. So it comes with a sort of lyric card as well, which is really immaculate. Nice to have all the inners, of course. Go back in the record. Thank you very much. Okay, and then so about an hour and a half later, so probably about 11:15, I left because an hour and a half in a record fair, I find I've kind of had enough. The old shoulders aching from the stretching, and so yeah, I was glad to depart and pretty much seen what I needed to see. So yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I've spoken with Ben, and he seemed to, from the feedback, that some of the vendors didn't have a particularly good day money wise. But yeah, I mean, I just thought that there was an awful lot of reissues and bootlegs, not an awful lot of original vintage albums, that certainly not ones that were particularly affordable, and some of the condition, there was a few that I picked up that I was interested in. There was, for instance, a Martha and the Muffins album from 1980 with the song Echo Beach on, which I've heard of, but I've never seen a copy. So I was delighted to try and pick that up. Looked at it, and it was a massive, great scratch on it, which you could kind of feel with your fingers. So it was just a bit of a disappointment. So yeah, there was a few like that, but you're always going to get that, I guess, at any fair. So anyway, went back to Ben's and picked up a few bits that I'd ordered previously from him that he'd sent pictures of, so the first thing was this, which is I think a new release, or certainly I think this came out last year. It's certainly available new to buy on Amazon at the moment, but this was a second copy, albeit that I don't think it's ever been played, so it's probably just taken out the shrink wrap and played once. This is a 5 CD compilation set called Think I'm Going Weird. Okay, so this is basically its title is Original Artifacts from the British Psychedelic Scene 66 to 68. So yeah, this is the kind of prime years of British psychedelia, over 5 discs. You've got over 100 tracks on this, and it's a really, really, really nice set. You've got sort of everything from sort of classic psychedelic pop psych singles from the time to sort of deeper cuts on albums, alternative cuts. For instance, there's an alternate cut of Lazy Old Sun from the Kinks' Something Else album. And there's also I Think I'm Going Weird by Art. The Wonderful My Clown, of course, by July, Tom Newman's band. Brilliant B-side of Simon Dupree and the Big Sound, which is Like the Sun, Like the Fire, which is a wonderful, wonderful song. Real Curios from Ron Geeson here, Psychedelia. What else have we got? Moody Blues, How Can We How Can We Hang On to a Dream? Circus, Crazy World of Arthur Brown, Zombies Hung Up on a Dream, The Who, Armenia City in the Sky. It just goes on and on. It's just fantastic. Excuse me. Really, really great compilation. And so the discs sort of go in at the start. It's kind of hardback book, so you could basically just put this on a bookshelf if you wanted to. Wonderful facsimile pictures there of the picture sleeve, so you can have a look. We'll still that if you want to, just to get a taste of some of the artists there. So we've got the Moles, Pretty Things, Nashville Teens, The Creation. Who else? Felix Andromeda, John's Children. Obviously the Mark Bolan's first band. And yeah, and I mean on each, it gives you a sort of introduction. On each disc, it gives a full rundown of the tracks as well, giving you a little bit of history of the recording of it, sort of where they went on to from there. Really, really great. Yeah, delighted to get this. A fantastic find. Definitely recommend anybody who's into British psych, psychedelia, etc. to look at picking this up. Big thing about the Spencer Davis group there. Fantastic. Going from Traffic, or the transition from Traffic to Spencer Davis group, I should say. The other way around even. Ooh. Okay, so yeah, really, really great stuff there. So that's Think I'm Going Weird, 1966 to 68 original artifacts from the British psychedelic scene. And that's on Grapefruit Records. Okay. Another great reissue, classic reissue. This takes me back to, I think, the first video I ever watched of Alan's Static Traveller. I don't think this was on his first video. It might have been, I don't know. It was a few years since I've seen it. But this, it always struck me, and I always thought I'd pick up a copy whenever I saw one. So this is Mark Briley and Welcome to the Citadel. Okay, so this is a 1969 kind of acid folk, sort of underground classic. From 1969, did I say 1969? Oh, no, I've said it again, there you go. Yeah, it's apparently the first ever vinyl issue since, well, the original I would have thought, I don't know. And it comes with a CD as well, with bonus tracks. Yeah, great cover there. Somebody in the shop at Ben's said today that apparently the guy recorded it and he was stoned out of his head all the way through when he was recording it. I don't know why I should be surprised at that. Sounds like par for the course. So yeah, so you got Mark Briley, Henry Lowther, Tony Reeves, electric bass, Mike Travis, and Claire Lowther on cello. Yeah, and this is wonderful. It's kind of slightly dark, slightly whimsical. Really, really, really great kind of strange poetic lyrics. Really interesting record. If you've not heard it, worth picking up. So that's Welcome to the Citadel by Mark Briley. Okay, couple more. So this is a record that yada 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 I've had on CD and record over the years, purged from various collections, but glad to have it back. This is a really minty copy from Ben's. This is Siouxsie and the Banshees, and this is Once Upon a Time, the Singles from 1981. So yeah, fantastic. Not really a lot to be said about this. Hong Kong Garden, Happy House, Israel, Spellbound, Arabian Nights. The fantastic, I think it was a single only, Christine, which is my absolute favourite. Fantastic song. And comes with a nice print there, which I never had in any of my versions that I've had before, so I assume that that was supposed to be in there from the original pressing. I don't know, but a nice addition anyway, so really pleased with that. And the last one, this one's a bit of a it's kind of semi-mystery, because when Ben told me that he'd got this, two things I didn't know. The first was that I didn't know how much it was going to cost me. And secondly, I wasn't aware that it wasn't actually available to stream online, literally anywhere. So the only song that had been uploaded was the title song. So yeah, so there you go. So anyway, here it is. So this is The Sun Also Rises on Village Thing Records. So this is a husband and wife folk duo who were apparently obsessed or very highly influenced by the Incredible String Band. So of course, as soon as I hear that, I'm a big ISB fan. I was intrigued to hear more. And yeah, it's very homespun, home recorded, with the two of them. He plays the guitar and vocals. They do harmonies, and I think there's dulcimer on there as well, and some yeah. I think apart from a few string overdubs, it's basically just the two of them. But it's the track that I've heard is wonderful. So as I say, I've not heard the rest of the album, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this is going to be in keeping with the song that is available to listen to. So, but it was such a great song. I just took a chance. I thought, well, it's a one-off album. I don't think they ever recorded anything else after this. So on the strength of that, I've kind of taken the plunge, and you pays your money and you takes your chance, as they say. So yeah, looking forward to giving that a spin anyway. So that's The Sun Also Rises. Okay, so that's it, guys. All done. Oh, yes, I forgot one actually. This is another one that I picked up from the fair, from another seller. This is a folk band, sometimes quite traditional, with a kind of a folk rock leaning. I do like their stuff. This was quite reasonable and in better condition than I've seen it before. This is the amazing Blondell and England. The gatefold there with the lyrics from 1972. On Island, a bit dusty, just needs a clean. So yeah, I did see another amazing Blondell album. I think it was the one before this one. It's about 25 quid, which was probably a little bit overpriced, and when I turned it over, there was a big scratch on it as well. So yeah, probably swerved a curveball there. So that's it, guys. Okay, so I hope what everybody's had a really, really good Easter and enjoyed themselves, not gorged themselves too much on the old chocolate. And yes, and I hope you've all had a great bank holiday, and it's been nice to have some good weather again. And yes, more of that, please. Okay, so yes, I'm hopefully coming back soon in the next day or two to do a response to James Griffith's wonderful thread that he's got going at the moment, which is show 10 records that you need to turn up to deafeningly loud volume. So yes, I'll be looking forward to doing a response to that one. So yeah, hopefully in the next day or two, I will get that uploaded and filmed. So cheers, guys. Take care of yourselves, and see you all again soon. Cheers. All the best. Bye-bye.